Obi-Wan Kenobi is perhaps the greatest Jedi Master of all time. Sure, Yoda was more wise and generally more experienced, what with being 900 years old, but you would be absolutely hard-pressed to find anyone who doesn't like or at least appreciate the character's subtle sense of humour, unfaltering commitment to justice, and calm demeanour. Even Ewan McGregor's performances alone make the prequels worth watching, but that's not to say Obi-Wan was as perfect as we all make him out to be. In fact, even one of the most stoic and legendary Jedi ever can have a few skeletons in his closet. From bizarre continuity errors to rather shady plot points, here are 10 things to forget about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Number 10. Charging his lightsaber. We here at Inside Star Wars value our oral hygiene. Now that may sound like a rather bizarre way to begin a list such as this, but do hear me out. With such a drive for sparkly teeth, we long ago switched from manual toothbrushes to electric. It's a company policy, so you can only imagine our looks of sheer horror when we forget to charge these beautiful devices. Thankfully, Obi-Wan Kenobi has always remembered to use his equally as important lightsaber. In fact, you can spot a wire connecting his weapon to a behind-the-scenes battery pack during his final encounter with Darth Vader. If you hadn't noticed this wardrobe malfunction before, then future viewings of A New Hope will forever be ruined, unless you choose to forget. Number 9. Luke and Leia sitting in a tree. Despite having planned every single plot point from the very beginning, at least according to the myth, George Lucas had absolutely no intentions of making Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa brother and sister. So for those wondering why Star Wars was encroaching upon Game of Thrones territory, well, now you know. From an in-universe standpoint, however, Kenobi could have easily thwarted any chance of bizarre-looking three-eyed children by simply revealing the Skywalker family tree. Why he never said anything, I honestly have no idea. Number 8. He once enjoyed piloting. Famously, Obi-Wan Kenobi hated flying. I mean, he literally complained about space and planetary travel alike any chance he could. So if I were to tell you that he once enjoyed piloting, you would probably find it difficult to believe. However, this was most definitely the case back in the Star Wars Legend continuity, although the exact reason why he came to hate it so much has never been answered. It's probably best if we just entirely forget this expanded universe plot thread as a result. Number 7. Failing as a Padawan. Sticking with Star Wars Legends, Kenobi very nearly missed out on becoming a fully fledged Jedi. Just saying those words out loud feels wrong, which is probably why it features on today's list. But despite his future accomplishments and stature as one of the greatest Force users of all time, he was left mere months away from having to join the Jedi Service Corps, a branch of the Jedi Order where those who failed as initiates could still apply their skills to agriculture, medicine, education, or exploration. Thankfully, the 12-year-old managed to catch the eye of Qui-Gon Jinn before facing such a fate, and the rest, as they say, is history. Number 6. Never owning a droid. In Star Wars Episode 4, good old Ben claimed to have never owned a droid. On a completely unrelated note, here are some images of Obi-Wan owning various droids. You could argue that the Jedi only ever utilised such robotic companions, but come on, there was really no need to lie and be so shady about it. Plus you'd think he would remember both R2-D2 and C-3PO, having spent a large chunk of his life in their presence. Thankfully, this is the one and only plot hole involving Kenobi. Oh, wait. Number 5. A peculiar exile. Talking about Obi-Wan's decision to wear Jedi robes throughout his lengthy exile will definitely open a can of worms in the comment section down below. So, let's instead focus on his rather peculiar name change, or should I say, lack of. Look, the name Ben is fair enough. I mean, it doesn't sound very sci-fi, but at least it's not Obi-Wan. As for keeping the surname Kenobi, I'm not saying word spreads fast on Tatooine, but I'm also saying word most definitely spreads fast on Tatooine. It's just a bit too conspicuous for someone trying to evade the ever-watchful eye of the Galactic Empire. What were you thinking, man? Number 4. Just getting older. At the climax of Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan Kenobi was 38 years old. Fast forward 19 years later to A New Hope, and of course, he was 57 years old. So why did he look like someone in his mid-70s when teaching Luke Skywalker the ways of the Force? Well, simply put, his rapid aging all came down to Tatooine's twin sons. But if we look past this convenient retcon, George Lucas really didn't care at all that much if a discrepancy occurred between the ages of Ewan McGregor and Sir Alec Guinness. Instead, he merely had his heart set on both actors when casting for either trilogy, leaving Lucasfilm story group members scrambling for a logical explanation behind this apparent oversight. Number 3. He kinda killed Qui-Gon Jinn. Okay, we're getting rather controversial now, but remember at the beginning of The Phantom Menace when Obi-Wan and his master used Force Dash to evade a pair of droidekas? Well, wouldn't it have made more sense, instead of merely jogging towards Qui-Gon as he battled Darth Maul, to use such an ability? Yeah, a bit of an oversight. Sure, it would be rather absurd to accuse Kenobi of killing his mentor, but you can't deny that his slow nature and apparent lack of urgency certainly contributed to Jyn's death. Number 2. Inconsistent high ground. "It's over, Anakin, I have the high ground" is one of the most memed lines from the entire prequel trilogy, and with good reason. I mean, it was only 13 years prior to such an encounter during his bout with Darth Maul on Naboo that Kenobi completely disregarded the high ground advantage of his opponent. If this was another entry on today's list, I would probably make a joke about now, but as we've already established, Obi-Wan doesn't seem to have the best memory in the world. Oh wait, that kind of was a joke? Nice. Number 1. Failing to kill Darth Vader. Truly heartbreaking was the climax of Kenobi's lightsaber duel with Darth Vader, despite the continuity error we literally just pointed out. We here at Inside Star Wars don't know how many times we've watched this scene, or someone nearby has simultaneously cut onions. No, we're not crying, you are. Where was I? Oh yeah. The Jedi Master was rightfully distraught as he watched the fire engulf his former Padawan. I mean, so strong was their relationship, they viewed one another as brothers. But if they were as close as Kenobi liked to exclaim, wouldn't he want to put Anakin out of his misery? And if he was so concerned about the lives of billions around the galaxy due to the rise of the Galactic Empire, shouldn't he have destroyed Vader there and then? Thanks for nothing, Obi-Wan. So there we have it, 10 things to forget about Obi-Wan Kenobi. But don't worry, we here at Inside Star Wars have nothing against the Jedi Master. In fact, he's one of our favourite Star Wars characters of all time. So of course feel free to argue about any of today's points by leaving a comment down below. If you've learnt something new from today's video, be sure to leave a like. To help out the channel that little bit extra, please do consider pledging to our Patreon page. And for all things Inside Star Wars, press that subscribe button and notification bell. Thanks for watching.